From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
And, of course, trying to keep things positive, right, with the summer heat continuing 58 days and counting until fall begins. That's still a long ways off, but at the same time, it'll be here before we know it. Eventually, we'll get out of this summer pattern. And as we talked about before we got into this heat wave over the last few days, frankly, up to this point, we have been doing fairly well by July standards compared to where we were this time last year. So it could always be worse. It certainly has been worse. Doesn't mean it makes the heat any better, but you know, it's just perspective, right? Low to mid 90s here at the lunchtime hour. Muskogee already 95 and climbing, 93 here in Tulsa. Up around Grove, Grand Lake, Tahlequah, just a couple degrees lower than everyone else. Here in the upper 80s, but of course, feeling hotter than that. Tack on the humidity. Heat index values at or above 100 in quite a few spots already. So once again, as I mentioned earlier, heat advisory for almost everyone. Technically Adair County in northwest Arkansas, not technically included. You're going to be right on that line of 105 heat index as well. So the bottom line is more heat stress today, more heat and humidity through the afternoon hours, and even into early evening. That heat advisory goes until 9 o'clock tonight because those heat index values still stay pretty high even through the 7 to 8 p.m. hour. Highs today, once again, it'll be what it's been the last few days. Some areas will stop short at maybe 97 to 98. Others will make a run up to about 100, maybe even 101. Tulsa, we've hit 100 2 days in a row. We're going to try and make 3 in a row today. Again, up around Grove and Jay and Tahlequah, you're going to be more 95 to 96 instead of 100, if that's any consolation. Upper 90s to near 100 in southeastern Oklahoma as well. Of course, outdoor activities continue despite what the heat's doing, right? So take a look at One Oak Field. The Drillers, the Noodlers are playing this evening. This is their renamed stretch here for the next few days. If you're going to go see the Noodlers play against Springfield, 98 degrees for first pitch at 7 o'clock. Still 92 at the 9 o'clock hour. There will be a steady south breeze, but make sure you got a lot of water on hand and enjoy the evening. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Not a whole lot of clouds hanging in. You know, the last couple of days we've had these pockets of clouds roll in and help temperatures by a couple degrees. We don't have a whole lot of that right now outside of LaFleur County. We may have a few more come drifting in out of Kansas as we go through the afternoon hours, but there's not a whole lot of that. And the wide view on radar, as we've been talking about for a while, is that heat dome expands. It pushes the jet stream way up to the north, so that's where the storm track has been recently in the northern plains into the Great Lakes and Midwest. There's another enhanced risk for severe weather today. Yesterday we had one down around Chicago and Detroit. Today up around Green Bay and Minneapolis, some pretty hefty storms possible, and even out on the East Coast around D.C. and NYC and Boston has a threat for severe weather later today. But yeah, not that here. That upper level ridge is just shutting down any big time rain chances. So all these colors are indicating where the significant or steadier rains are going to be the next several days. Not here. Now, we will, at least occasionally, have a chance for, a rogue shower, isolated shower or two under that upper level ridge, but nothing widespread storm-wise anytime soon like we saw earlier in the month. So that too today, again, upper 90s near 100, some passing clouds, but nothing all that significant. Tomorrow morning, there might be a sprinkle or two on radar and some morning cloud cover. We'll still be warm, upper 70s near 80, and then tomorrow afternoon, looks mighty familiar. Yet again, upper 90s to near 100. Tulsa will try to make a run at about 101. And as we go to the 7-day forecast, again, if you don't like the triple digits, well, you might want to look away because unfortunately the heat wave is going to get worse before it gets better. As we head from Friday, 101, Saturday, Sunday, 102, and the winds will get a little lighter over the weekend. So for at least for a couple days, we'll kind of lose that gusty breeze that we've had here recently. Next week, 103 Monday, 104 Tuesday. I don't like that trend, but the longer the heat wave goes, the more we dry out and the more those temperatures will climb. And still a 7-day full of triple digits. Now, it's not on the 7-day. Past this, late next week, there are some signs that we may start to kind of break up the heat wave a little bit once we get about 8-9 days out. So we're keeping an eye on that, hoping for it, but that's still a long ways off.